Hi, I'm here in the Kaituna Valley at the start of the Packhorse Hut trek. The Packhorse Hut trek goes from this wee country road up to Packhorse Hut up on Kaituna Saddle. It's 4.1 kilometres from here, but it's quite steep hill climbing, so takes about 2 hours. In reality, the return trip is roughly around about 3.5 to 4.5 hours. Just depends how fit you are. And so there's a marked track that you have to follow, and so it just basically starts from this point and you go over this stile, and then there's another stile in the distance there, and the track heads on up the hill. So let's start walking. Walking over farmland at the start of the trek, and then further up the valley we get onto a four-wheel drive road going up to the top. This area is closed for lambing from August through to the beginning of October, but after that time you can come up this trek any time of the year. A nice little forest of eucalypt trees here. They've cut them all down. Probably quite a bit of money to be made out of the timber, firewood. So this is the four-wheel drive track that you follow most of the way up the hill. There's a fuckload of people here. Very, very busy. It's the first of two braids of the Kaituna River you have to go over. You can see there's a lot less flow in here. Easy to cross. Can be dangerous in a big rainstorm. And then you start climbing up the hill. So you alternate between bush sections like this and open farm paddocks. So that's the second creek crossing that you do, Kaituna River. This is the third creek crossing. It's not too difficult. Some dead possums around here, I can smell them. Man, they stink to high heaven. Or a cow. Walking up a steep section of trek on the farm trek. Yeah. There's a wood pigeon in the tree just there, just sitting looking around. It's looking up the valley next to this one, and then the track going up the hill there. So the track levels out for a wee while here as you make your way to the fourth and last of the stream crossings. All the gates are open today because there's so many people coming up here. The farmers probably come up and just opened them and left them open. When you reach this point in the trek, you need to go left. Going right takes you up into the farmers' land, and they go nuts if you go that way. So left everyone. So that's the fourth and the last of the stream crossings. After here it's just track running up the side of the hill. So the track for the next about 600-700 metres is a series of switchbacks like this. This ground is super slippery when it's wet because it's clay. You have to be really careful when you're coming down. Not so easy going up either. That's Mount Bradley. It's about the third highest mountain on Banks Peninsula. And there's the track heading up the hill. This is the steepest part of the trek. It takes quite a bit of effort to get up here. Just have to go slow and grind it out. Stop every 100 metres for a rest for a minute or two. So that's breaking up out of the bush line. From here up to the hut you have these alternating clear paddock areas and little pieces of remnant forest. Yeah, and it gets a wee bit easier about another 500 metres up the track. The gradient's not quite so bad, so we'll head on up that way. I'm about 2/3 of the way up to the hut. I've probably got about 2 k's left to go. That's looking down into Kaituna Valley. If you can see down there in the middle of the valley, that's Kaituna Scenic Reserve. And then if we come around this way, the track starts zigzagging up the hill, and then once you get up over that ridge line there, you can actually see the hut. Yeah, and off to the side there, Mount Bradley. See some more people coming up the hill behind me. It's about 20 ahead of me. So the hut's up on that saddle up there, that low point between the two hills. You can just see there's some people walking up to it over there. So it's probably about maybe a kilometre away. This is always the muddiest part of the track. You have to pick your way through here really carefully. Yeah, you just choose your footing carefully, because water comes down that wee dry creek bed there. That's your first clear view of the hut. Last stretch up to the hut. That's looking back down the valley. You can just see the ocean over the end of that ridge at the end of the valley there. People heading down. That wee bit of bush over there, that's where the Packhorse bib is. We'll go and have a look at it on the way back down the hill, just if there's nobody there, because it's actually the hut warden's accommodation, and there's probably a hut warden at this time. and then just a couple of switchbacks to get up to where the hut is, about maybe 200 metres to the hut. So all of this land here was bought by the Nature Heritage Trust, and it's all going to become part of a new recreation park called Te Ara Pataka. They've got plans to plant trees on all of these hillsides, so in about 200 years it's going to look like Parkinson's bush there. And that's the hut over there, about 100 metres away, so we'll head off in that direction. Just going to climb over this fence here. Kiwi invention, those kind of styles. Almost there. Yeah, there's the hut. So I made it to the hut. Visit number 14. This is my favourite backcountry hut in New Zealand. I like to come here at least once a year. It's a lovely old building, stone. It's on the hut booking system now, so you know that you've got a space for the night if you come up here. Great view down Kaituna Valley. You can see right out to the sea. So that's like Birdlands Flat out there. Lake Ellesmere is out of sight, it's around the corner. So you can see Packhorse Biv is kind of hidden away, so you wouldn't really know it was here unless you knew it was here. And so, you know, no one ever comes down to talk to you. The hut's on the hut booking, the hut bagger page now, so you can actually come and bag this hut. So I finished at Packhorse Biv, just on my way back down the hill. It's the advantage with this trek. Once you get up to the hut, all the way down, you're walking downhill. That's got to be a good thing. So this is a west side trek that goes back onto the main trek. There you can see the main trek in the distance. Back on the track, heading back down the hill, back to the car. Normally it takes about an hour to get back down, hour and a half up, hour down. I can hear a whole lot of tui calling in the bush off to my left. It's sign for Parkinson's bush. Yeah, you can hear them calling back and forth. Just walking down the hill. Used to have cattle in this paddock, but I don't see any. Just sheep, and I noticed the grass is quite thick and luxuriant. I think maybe they've stopped putting cattle up in the fields. Look at that sheep down there looking at me. Didn't like it. Just about to go back down below the permanent bush line. So basically from here all the way back to the car, you're more or less covered by trees on both sides of the track. Protects you from the wind, if not the rain. The bush is a bit thin to protect you from the rain. It's a great view there, just with the edge of the hill and the valley, and then the ocean right down at the end of the valley. Nice. Yeah, so I'm just walking down that clay part of the track. It's really steep. I'm leaning back probably on about a 30-degree angle. You just have to go real slow because it's slippery. It's got like real fine dust on top of it. If it's wet, don't even walk on that clay. You'll just fall over. I came down here once in a rainstorm and I was falling over about every 10 feet, and then in the end I had to walk along the fence line and hold on to the fence over there. It's the only thing you could do. Too slippery otherwise. It's alright going up, just coming down's not great. But then it flattens off here, so that's all good. Just heading down to the 4th/1st of the river crossings. Well, the first one on the way downhill anyway. Once you get down past that first river crossing, you can make a bit of time, because the track's gradients are a lot easier. Yeah. I'm just bundling along. People overtaking me, I don't care. It's all good. So here's the first of those river crossings on the way back to the car. Probably 98% of the time the river's like this, there's no water. If you were walking here in a real big rainstorm though, I've seen photos of this area and those two rocks there are underwater. So you have to be careful. It seems like it'd be an easy track and like an all-weather track, but like real heavy rain, the terrain around here is very steep, and so you get a lot of water and it picks up speed. Yeah, and then it's fairly easy walking like this till you get down to those last 3 river crossings. Just coming down to another of the crossings over the river. It's a real stink through here, like something dead. Could be possums or dead sheep. It's bloody awful. So you just basically step over the rocks as best you can. Try not to fall into the stinky water. big massive patch of onga onga here. This whole dell here is just full of it. It's like it's endemic to Banks Peninsula. You have to watch it, those wee hairs that you can see on the branches and on the leaves, they have like a neurotoxin in them. Yeah, really nasty stuff. And then just another of those crossings over the river. This one here, you go around the edge. Bit rooty. Then step across the stones. Nice. And then further and onwards. Stream crossing. Wouldn't drink that water, it'd be really disgusting, filthy. So when you get to this track junction, you have to go off to the right. You can't go straight. Straight is actually the farmer's land, and they get shirty because people keep walking over it all the time. You have to come up and cross the stile and then walk over the marked track. Yeah, it's always best to try to keep the farmers on side. Want to maintain access to these tracks. It'd be quite easy for them to just basically say, no, it's too dangerous, you can't come across my land anymore. So we're on the less than 1 kilometre to the car park, just walking back over the farmland. Just cresting the last hill before the end of the track. You can see the road down there. It's nice now. Sun's come out. It's a lot warmer. Still a bit cloudy though. Not a bad day for a tramp. Just walking the last section down to the bottom of the track. The track really ends at this stile here. It's about another 20 metres from there out to the road, but that's just farm road really. Up and over. Here's the end of the track. Yeah, so that's the end of the track up to Packhorse Hut from Kaituna Valley. Yeah, so I'm at the end of the track. That took me roughly about 4.5 hours return. I stopped up in the hut for about half an hour for some lunch. Nice track. It's steep. You're exposed to the sun. I feel a wee bit sunburnt. Yeah, I'm just going to get in the car now and head down for home. Thanks for joining me.